who knows when we will actually be live and who could actually hear us. But the internet is busted. The internet is down.
So we went from a high. We went from a high yesterday to low.
We broke the internet.
Yeah. This is.
So we'll have this is gonna be like our first show.
Yeah.
It was just me, you, and James.
We broke the internet.
Yeah, it's broken. All right.
We broke it yesterday.
I see people are trickling in, so I think they could see us.
How about that?
Let me know if you could hear us. Facebook is currently down. Instagram is currently down. And a few other websites that help power this podcast are down. So we are bootstrapping it together.
It's the MacGyver show.
The problem is that you all use the same... Oh, they can hear us. Look at that. So who wants to sing the opening? Come on. Sing this together.
I don't want to do it.
Facebook is back. Not fully. Not fully.
And we are not a full go. We're at half chub.
Don't forget to drop a Facebook is good. Okay, is Instagram still down? I see a few websites. They all use the same server, so a whole bunch of them are getting smacked around.
Smackety. It's the Russians.
I feel like we're doing a naked show.
It's got to be the E-Hive.
I think it is. They got all the giant sites down. You will not talk about this. You will not mention his name. Don't say it.
There is something that's pretty funny. Remember last year before they hired Gettleman, we did the was it right after they hired him? We did the GoFundMe page for $2 billion to buy the Giants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know it's down?
Is it really?
Yeah, and I can't get access to it or anything like that. It just shows up as gray.
Really?
Hilarious.
What is going on?
They're watching us.
E-Hive is everywhere.
They're swarming.
Yeah, so I want to thank everyone for yesterday. The show was an all-time high. It beat out our prior all-time high show of when Tom Coughlin got fired.
Wasn't it when Eli got benched?
I think Coughlin fired was more.
Memories out the corner of my mind.
I swear we broke 10 when Eli got benched.
Of the way
Did we?
I swear it had to be around there.
Scattered pictures of David Tyree.
Yeah, let's see. All right, so
Memory.
The OBJ news killed the internet.
It did. It did.
It really did.
Yep.
All right, and the Giants are going to turn us all against Eli Manning. That's what their goal is.
Welcome to the party, pal. Let me quote John McClane. Woo! It took Eli to get rid of the cancer for the Giant fans to realize that this shit's been going on for 2.5 years. I love it.
We're all going to be... They're going to trot Eli out there. He's getting $5 million tomorrow if the Giants don't do the smart thing and cut him.
That was Monday.
I put out a tweet before. I said that...
Sport Track told me it was tomorrow.
I thought it was Saturday. I have no clue. But it's coming.
So we're just throwing days out there now.
I thought it was Saturday. I could be wrong. I thought I saw Saturday. It's coming. It's coming in the next 2 or 3 days. So I saw something today about Eli. Just my God, the Francesa stuff.
Oh,
Marco.
It is
Marco.
I can't.
If you guys don't know what we're referring to, and maybe we can I really want as many Giant fans to hear that podcast. So maybe we could find that Evan Silva podcast and put it in the post it or tweet it out or something like that. For everybody who's listening. But there was a podcast where Evan Silva discussed pretty much how Mike Francesa goes on these rants, and then the Giants pretty much just do what the hell he says. And at first I was like, come on, there's no way. And then he referenced a couple of different things. And if you go back and look at it, man, oh man, is it scary. And today, out of nowhere, after the whole E-Hive thing and all this stuff, Francesa comes out and starts talking about. Well, he was talking. He literally came out and said, "I literally talked to the owners for the last 5 years and been telling them to get rid of this guy."
Yep.
And it's just so. Oh man. Now I agree with the take because I've been screaming it, so I'm not going to bash the take, but the fact that ownership is listening to takes whatsoever, scary situation.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. Ready, James? Just answer this question. Do you think Mike Francesa is in touch or out of touch?
I think he's come and go, hit or miss. I think he's on with some stuff. I think he's full of shit. I think that he really is only out to serve himself, and that's really all he cares about. So it's hard to take him seriously. But like, see,
I must have came into the conversation late. Were you talking about Captain Negative, or are you talking about Francesa?
Francesa, I've been right. Francesa, I've been 100% right so far. Francesa's like 50-50. But I agree with Francesa on the Beckham take, and I've said it to you guys for the last. I'm not making it up. I've said it to you guys for the last 3 years. His antics annoyed me. They wore on me. I thought it took away from the team, and obviously the Lil Wayne interview irked some people.
Let's be honest. The hate's been real since the boat trip. The hate's been real since the boat trip.
The hate was, but it was before that. The hate was like festering, and then it boiled with the boat trip. It was like there was a couple of little things before that were on my goddamn nerves, and then that was the boiling point, and then the straw that broke the camel's back was the contract after the bullshit Boy Scout routine going on and blowing up the franchise he did. I thought that was, like, to me, the writing was on the wall. Like, I didn't think Jay Glazer was breaking news. Like, to me, the fact that you guys were so much in denial about it, I was in shock. Because I honestly am like, what have we been watching?
Who was in denial?
That he was going to get traded?
No, it wasn't so much denial. It was like I didn't want. First of all, I didn't want it to happen. I still think it's stupid, if you want my honest opinion. But
it's remission, Tim.
But to be honest, as far as we talked about this earlier, but we'll rehash for people that are on our chat. By Odell signing the contract, we got way more back than we would have if he just was on his 1 year last year.
I think you're 100% incorrect. I think that the fact that he played this year, got hurt again, and had the whole.
But the thing is, for Cleveland, he's locked up for 5 years.
Yeah, but they're going to redo him anyway. Like, the money was coming anyway.
That's on them.
Yeah, no shit. The problem was, and again, sorry, I was right, was giving him the contract in the first place. Like, there was no reason to even sit down at the table with him. He was still on his rookie contract. If he was a Boy Scout, you could have negotiated now and gave him a long-term deal right before the franchise tag. He bitched them out last year. He punked them. And they gave him the money, and then he blew them up on national TV with Lil Wayne sitting there making a joke of him.
No.
Like, I can't see how you guys did not see, after all the stuff, that this was real. That these rumors were
I don't have breaking news report. I just got a message from
Did we get Rosen?
Report.
Do we get Rosen?
The New York Giants would explore a trade for the Cardinals QB if they decide to make him available. From ESPN.
That's a message to Arizona. Are you for real? Call their fucking bluff, Gettleman. Call their bluff, Gettleman.
We'll take Rosen. If we get Rosen for a second, then the 2 first-round picks at least help.
For as much as I love Haskins,
Oh, and James, I tweeted out that link also.
Yeah, check that out, Giant fans. If you guys, it's Evan Silver with this guy, the Podfather. They put out good content. Evan Silver works for what's he work for? Roto World, I think. But it's really good. It's a whole hour on the Giants and exactly what's going on right now. Some takes you'll hate, some takes you'll enjoy, but for the most part, it's a good hour worth of listening. I'm a Haskins guy, right? But Haskins is going to cost a 6, or you're going to have to trade up to get him. So what do I always talk about, right? What's in the best long-term interest of the franchise? If you could find a way to get Josh Rosen on anything but a first-round pick, I'm talking anything but a first-round pick. If you have to give up your second-round pick, damn it, you do it. You give up your second-round pick for Josh Rosen, and you bring Rosen in. The reason why you do that is twofold. One, it gets you a young guy that has talent. That's a first-round, top 10 talent. Don't give me what Rosen went through last year. Go back and look at Goff in his rookie year. Go back and look at Eli in his rookie year.
And the fact is Rosen has a year under his belt as well.
100%. And he played all 16 games, right? So he showed that he was a tough son of a bitch, too.
Especially, and Arizona's line was worse than ours.
And don't give me the personality bit. If you go and you watch his interviews, he'd be perfect for a big city. Here's the thing I like about Rosen. I think Rosen wants to be the quarterback of the New York Football Giants. See, I think that he's dying to be in a big market with his personality. And I think that it is the perfect fit. And if you can get him with the guaranteed money gone, right? So now you're talking about where you have him locked up for the next 4 years at extremely manageable money. And Giant fans, pay attention next year, because the Giants right now, if you get rid of Jenkins and you get rid of Ogletree, next year the Giants are going to have $120 million worth of cap space. So if you can get Rosen on that deal and have the quarterback position on lock, think of, with all the draft picks that you have, what you can do and what you can add to the roster, and then think about what you can do in free agency to plug some of those holes, and then probably have a top 15 pick with the team that you're going to bring in this year, top 15, maybe top 10 again. Here's the thing about Rosen, though. If you're going to bring in Rosen, get rid of Eli.
Well, Eli's got to go.
Did they put this out now because of the Eli date coming up, knowing that if they can get a trade done beforehand,
by the weekend,
they can dump Eli. Like that, to me, that's huge.
James,
because
I got a question for you. He
played 16 games already. Get him in there. There's no reason to sit him.
I got a question for you. Would you do Rosen for the 17th?
Probably. Push comes.
I would say no.
With that contract, yes.
I would say no. The only reason being because I think you had the leverage on Arizona.
Not really, Tim. Because Miami can sneak in off at 13. You get a deal done when you can get a deal done. You get a deal done when you can get a deal done. Because don't think that Denver.
Exactly.
Don't think that Denver isn't interested. Okay, don't think that Miami isn't interested. Don't think that Washington is. They got Case Keenum, for Christ's sakes. Look at the money that you're bringing over for Rosen. It's like bringing over It's like you're paying Rhett Ellison more than you're paying Josh Rosen. Okay, so think about that. So if you think Rosen's the guy, if you had a high grade on him last year and he went 10. And Arizona's saying, I got a deal on. They don't have to be telling the truth. I got the Giants willing to give up fucking 17 that they just acquired. Like that pushes. Arizona doesn't give a fuck where he goes. They're trying to get the best deal on the table.
But here's the deal too. If people be like, okay, if you're so. First of all, he went 10th overall. Might be right around there. I'd be like.
But
so
Tim,
you guys already given up.
Let's say
you guys already given up on him.
But Tim,
but you want a first round pick for him?
Yeah, they want it. He went 10. And look at the contract you're getting. Like I would want.
Hold on.
I would be asking for a first round pick.
All right, James. I got
because I like.
I got another
because
scenario.
I changed my coaching.
I got
I
another.
changed my coach. The coach wants another quarterback. Go ahead. Sorry.
I got another scenario for you from one of the commenters, Charlie Green. Excellent point.
Go ahead.
It's either Rosen with the 17th pick, or you're giving a boatload to Russell Wilson next year.
See, I don't think so.
I don't believe Russell Wilson's going to be available.
No, I don't think so. I think that Russell Wilson will probably work out a trade somewhere before that happens. Could that be New York if they don't address the quarterback position? Yeah, but if you told me that you can get a young quarterback, see, I like Russell Wilson, but let's not try to avoid the fact that Russell Wilson plays hurt a lot. He's taken a lot of lumps, okay, during the course of his 7 years, 8 years playing, whatever it's been, and you're paying him a huge amount of money. See, to me, the attractive thing about the rookie quarterback with the upside is the 4 or 5 years that you get on that manageable money. Yeah, and if you had a high grade on Rosen and he went 10 last year, and I told you, Tim, that if Rosen wasn't coming out, if it was Rosen who you had a high grade on last year, right?
Oh, we were both sold on Rosen. The only thing we ever said on Rosen was injury history.
We were a little concerned about the injuries, and that was why we had Darnold a little higher than Rosen, and we had a couple of guys that were right there with him as well. But we had them all grouped together pretty much as like
Rosen by far throws the prettiest ball out of any of them.
So if you told me that you could walk out of the draft with Saquon Barkley and Josh Rosen last year, if you were picking 17 last year, if you made this trade last year,
this would have been amazing.
And you were sitting at 2 and 17. Would you have taken Rosen at 17 last year?
Absolutely.
So then you could justify trading 17 for him this year. Do I like it? No. But if I had other teams bidding against me,
okay. If you had to twist you're right. If you twisted my arm, would I give?
I'm not giving you 6. Fuck you.
Yeah. You're not getting a higher pick than when he was drafted.
No.
The year before.
100% not. 100% not. Now to me, the negotiation starts at, to me, I think they're asking for a 1, as they should, whether you agree with it or not.
I would ask.
I think
we're giving up a 2, and we're gonna have to give him a future pick, maybe a future third or something like that.
He already has 1 year burned on the contract, though.
But all the guarantees money is paid, and all the you don't have to be. The team that's acquiring him is not only acquiring the player at the quarterback position, but they're acquiring that contract with no guaranteed money on it. So that alone is unbelievably attractive. So I'm not saying they'll get the first, but if you're the GM of the Cardinals, are you asking for a first? Fuck yeah, I'm asking for a first-round pick. Mm-hmm. Now, if I'm the Giants, I'd probably go in and say, hey, listen, you're in a bad spot with this guy. I'll give you a third. Now that's why I said initially that I think it'll end up costing you the second-round pick. But if push came to shove and other teams got involved and it was going to cost me 17 and one of my later 4th or 5th round picks, take them. Take them.
Yep.
Do you think can we get Mike Francesa to talk about Rosen tomorrow or no?
He will not talk. He's not going. Mike Francesa is not going to go against Eli Manning. It is very curious that came out from the Giants tonight because with Eli, that's a very curious thing tonight that leads you to believe that be something there with possibly the regime shakeup and maybe the E-Hive get back to it. Now,
and that's from Dan Graziano, by the way.
It would not. Would it surprise you that if they traded Rosen and put him on the bench behind Eli? Like, would it surprise you if that happened?
No, absolutely not.
And you know what, guys? You take out the hives at night. You don't take them out during the day.
Well, that's Tim. Let's hope that that's what it is, man. Because hopefully that this is a signal that if they can get, to me, it does not make sense to acquire Josh Rosen and to put him on the bench. Like, to me, he went through.
You know what? I think you hit it right in the head. You try to get the deal done this weekend so you can cut Eli and not pay him the roster bonus.
Can we find the date? Can somebody out there?
I swear it's Monday. That's what I heard yesterday.
But I mean, while we're here, I mean, there has to be somebody listening that can.
Wait, Manning has 1 year left on his contract. He is scheduled to earn an $11.5 million salary, $500,000 workout bonus, and a $5 million roster bonus if he is still roster at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Saturday.
this Saturday.
Boom! Research.
And that comes out on Thursday night. After today, we heard in the morning that
there's supposed to be another big deal.
That they weren't done. Right? So this morning we get some, luckily through the website and stuff. I'm not saying that we're, Jordan Renan or these guys on the inside like that, or Paul Dottino or any of those guys. But we do have certain contacts, and luckily that Marco CEO was able to let us know this morning that, hey, something may be brewing in Giants land. And now tonight, which is very un-Giant-like, right? All of a sudden, hey, we're willing to let you know, we'll talk about Rosen, and really putting Arizona in the position to say, fuck. Because now Arizona's in the position where they've been trying to conjure up this whole thing to say Rosen may be available. He's not he's our quarterback as of now. The infatuation with Kyler Murray having what's the coach's name?
Kliff Kingsbury.
Having Kingsbury there, that fits with Kyler Murray and that whole offense thing. Like really, Arizona, you got to think, was trying to get this thing as close to the draft as possible. And here comes Gettleman saying, "Hey, I'm willing to talk." And if Arizona is serious, not knowing what the market could possibly be down the line, then you have to have a conversation immediately if you're Arizona. And if Arizona balks from the conversation, then you can pretty much throw out the narrative that Kyler Murray's going to go first.
Well, Giants could literally be like, hey, we'll give you this compensation, but if we got to pay a $5 million roster bonus to Eli, that compensation goes down.
What if the Giants love Kyler Murray and they're putting out the narrative that they want Rosen to see how fucking serious Arizona is about Kyler Murray?
Could be.
I have seen that Sherman likes Murray.
Who knows at this point? Like it is such nothing would surprise me at this point. So I really don't know what they could possibly be conjuring up. I would hope that if it's anything, that it was Rosen. Can you
guys hear this?
People saying, and maybe they're right. Gettleman has no idea what he's doing.
You can't hear it, right?
People saying, and maybe they're right. Gettleman has no idea what he's doing.
Do the people on YouTube hear it?
People saying, and maybe they're right. Gettleman has no idea what he's doing.
He's making up noises.
People saying, and maybe they're right. Gettleman has no idea what he's doing.
I do got to say, we might be insiders, but I think we keep an eye on Giants news pretty damn close, and we really, for the most part, can read tea leaves.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest. We have no inside information. We knew when Brandon Marshall was going to get signed to the Giants.
No, but we don't have. I wouldn't say that we have like the best of inside information, but I mean, I believe that Justin has a source inside the. I know he's not lying. No. I know that Marco definitely has a couple of people that he speaks to. I know that I've been lucky enough to reach out to Pat Leonard and Dan Dugan and get pretty quick responses. So while it's really secondhand, it's still information. So
I really don't know shit.
The fact that came out this morning, and now this comes out tonight. Hey, interesting.
Why don't you reach out to your contacts?
I got a thumb check from Pat Leonard last night. I didn't get a reply from him. I sent him a message that said remission ? And then last night around 8:30, I got the thumb check back. So they're there. They're hanging out. They know what's going on.
So I reached out to probably. I don't think you could get much higher in the Giants organization. And the person politely declined.
Oh.
What happened?
I reached out. I can't say the name, but I reached out to someone very high, or someone who was very high in the Giants organization, to come on, even anonymously or off the record. And they politely declined, and they're just putting it all behind them.
Yep, it's over.
And there are a few other I have a few other little stories that are out there.
What did Pep say?
I don't know. I don't know if he like fell asleep on his phone. I don't know what happened. He sent me a video of himself and he's like, I think I know this guy. It was him. I was like, okay.
Pep on his phone.
I could tell you from inside information that I know that the Giants aren't so happy with the way with the perceived handling of Odell Beckham Jr. by Pat Shurmur.
Wow. Well, here's what we know about that situation. We know that the Giants. Now, here, how about that? Very interesting.
I know that for a fact.
Well, two things. I'll tell you two things. One thing I saw today, and you can think about this and put this on the back burner for another day. Sean Payton is rumored to be available as of 2020, and rumors are that the Cowboys want him. Now,
again.
Put that on the back burner, right? So put that on the back burner there because you know that he has a history with the Giants organization, and you know if he was available, the Giants would be right there with him to try to pick him up. And they would probably do whatever it took to get him or block him or try to take him from the Cowboys. So put that on the back burner. Now, it was also on today. Glazer was on Undisputed. I sent that to you guys. And he said, and this is not the only person that I've heard this from, that basically the Giants were fed up and contemplating trading him last year. And they also feel like the trade value last year for him would have been greater than it was this year. And Shurmur was the one that came in and said, I can handle him. Don't get rid of this guy yet. Give me a chance to handle him. And he was unable to do so. And you wonder if that maybe resonated through the top of the ranks, that they're like, hey, listen, if he couldn't handle Beckham, maybe they feel like the locker room's a little too big for him. Who knows? But we know that he did not have a very successful run in Cleveland, so to speak.
Tim's playing fetch. So what
the fuck?
The situation is that there is a pretty good relationship between Odell and Pat Shurmur, and there was no real like strife in the locker room between Odell and his teammates. And it goes back to Mike Francesa. I can't believe to say it.
Mike Francesa, bro.
Who? All right. So the backstory. There's backstory to backstory. Odell's rookie year, he was going to do a breakfast with Mike Francesa, and he got sick and canceled on him. And Francesa's been hammering ever since that. But he never tells that happened. Did you know that, James, or no?
Yes, he was scheduled to do a weekly, much like Eli does, right? Where
No. This was a breakfast that he had with Big Blue Travel that they were going to do.
Oh, I did not know that.
Morning breakfast before he even put on a uniform, before day one played. He legitimately got sick and didn't want to, and couldn't go, and Francesa buried him from that point on.
Wow. See, I thought that Beckham was scheduled. Maybe I'm thinking of a different guy. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm thinking of Shockey, where somebody was scheduled to do the show and then backed out on him, and then he went off on the guy and buried him after that. I forget. Maybe it wasn't Beckham, but that's. I
remember who.
I mean, would you be surprised?
I remember who. I think it was a defensive player. Was it Andrew Roll?
What's up?
I think it might have been Antrell Roll with that.
I'm not sure who. I can't remember exactly who it was, but it's very much Francesa-like to hold a grudge for something stupid like that.
So Francesa always bashing Odell. Pat Shurmur goes on. He has a weekly spot with Francesa as well, and sticks up for him. The the next series of interviews between the two of them, head coach and the Pope, hammering him, hammering, like awkward to listen to, and it's the podcast that we had was good, but they're wrong. The podcast that I shared in the link, it's good, but there's a lot of factual stuff that you have to be like really in tune with the Giants to know what's really going on that they don't touch on. Like these little things they don't know about.
Yeah, it's scary. I'm trying to. Okay, I'm all in on this Josh Rosen thing now. Get me Josh Rosen.
Over breakfast date that got canceled.
I'm sitting here and I can't stop thinking about it, and I'm so worried about the goddamn quarterback position. Like, get me him. Go get him. Is he available?
I would love that. You get Rosen, and then you can go whoever the best available is at 6 and 17.
Let's go. Go get him. If this thing is for real, then what are we waiting for? Pick up the phone, call the guy, get the deal done, walk away from Eli, change the whole narrative from negative to positive in 24 hours, and have people start looking at the picks in the draft knowing that we have a franchise quarterback and Saquon Barkley there. The whole narrative changes. You free up $17 million on the cap. You put yourself in a position where you can still say, okay, we have Ogletree, Jenkins. We're still going to compete this year. We'll add some pieces on defense, knowing that still that you're going to walk away from this year. You could dump those pieces and have $120 million against the cap with Rosen, Barkley, 4/5 of your offensive line in place. Who knows who you pick up this year? You're okay. You'd be okay. Well, the whole narrative changes.
That's the thing with, for instance, I know the rumor was today that Jenkins might be gone. But we have no corners. We have, what, 2 on the roster right now? We really can't afford to get rid of Jenkins. And you know what? We have enough money now.
You could. Yeah, you could. You could
let Jenkins go for another. Jenkins
first of all,
Jenkins is not
sucks.
Suck.
He gets beat he gets beat like a drum. He gets beat like a drum.
It sounds like Landon Collins in coverage.
Like a drum. Only thing, Jenkins doesn't give you 100 tackles. So I'm not a fan of Jenkins, and he has a big fucking mouth. So if you can get rid of him and save $7 million on the cap and bring in a younger corner that's 24, 25 years old and has some upside, I don't care. But if
money's come off the cap next year anyway.
Yeah, but I think they'll end up bringing him back. I think they'll end up bringing Ogletree back, and they'll try to sell you that they have some pieces on the defense now with Peppers and some guys, and they'll try to add, but solve the goddamn quarterback problem. And then with the extra money, you can get involved in the second wave of free agency.
Just for curiosity's sake,
pick some guys up.
Curiosity's sake,
I'm for cutting Jenkins.
Let's say
we actually seen him quit on the team prior. I'm for.
Yeah, those guys they're cancers, man. I'd rather play with kids.
Well, here's the deal. Let's say Rosen deal goes down tonight. It happens. It was second round pick and like a future pick, whatever.
Who goes down tonight?
The Rosen deal.
Oh, okay.
Let's say Rosen's a Giant by the morning.
Right.
What do you want the Giants to do with 6 and 17?
I want defensive players in the first round. I want the best defensive players on the board in the first round.
17 stuff. I'm not worried about to say, but bullshit. Who do you want at 6?
This draft is. I don't care. I don't care. Whoever the best player on the board is. Hopefully, what happens is somebody takes a couple of quarterbacks. And the way I look at it is this: if that's the case, and you get Rosen with the second round pick, now what I'm curious now, my focus becomes okay. That means that Kyler Murray is going one. Awesome. So now you've moved up. No, but fuck, I don't even care. Here's my thing is I've moved up to the 5th pick in the draft because I don't need a quarterback. So now what I'm praying is that somebody trades up or somebody takes Haskins in that top 6. Maybe
so one of those guys moves down.
Maybe, yeah.
So you think
maybe Denver moves up?
I wouldn't go defensive tackle. I would go more defensive end.
Well,
it'd be a pass rusher. He's got to be one like a Josh Allen from Kentucky.
Right.
Well, who's there?
Or personally, you know what? I would love them to get Devin White.
Well, let's go through it. let's go through it, right? Murray at 1, Bosa at 2. Who goes 3?
Probably who's picking
Who did the
3?
Jets take?
Oh, Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, Williams,
from Alabama.
Right?
Yep.
All right. So who goes 4?
Was it Oakland?
Oakland.
Yeah, Oakland picks 4. Do they go Haskins?
They got to make up for pass rushers as well because they got rid of Khalil Mack.
Okay. So Josh Allen.
Yep, Josh Allen probably makes sense.
Josh Allen. So you could argue that no matter which way we go, we can argue that no matter which defensive player you like, you would agree that the top three defensive players on the board are Bosa, Allen, and Williams. Right? Okay, so it
and
doesn't
White.
matter.
So
it doesn't matter which way they go. We could declare by pick 5, those guys are off the board with Kyler Murray if we acquire Josh Rosen. Right?
Yep.
Who's left?
Wait, did we have White going off the board?
White is still on the board.
He's probably next.
Who's picking next? Tampa.
Sweat.
I've seen the offensive linemen. All the mock drafts I've seen them going offensive linemen such as like Juwan Taylor from Florida.
Well, that's the best of both worlds. But here's where I wanted to get. Okay, the worst case scenario, and this is why I don't think that you can really say pass rusher, because you could be sitting there in a scenario where you're looking at White and what's his name, Montez Sweat, and he's a defensive tackle.
He's defensive end, Montez Sweat, but he ran like a 4.4.
Okay, so there you go. So you're walking out of the draft with either Devin White or Sweat. That's not bad. That's not bad.
I got a question for you.
I wouldn't qualm.
I would love Devin White
because
I would like to solidify the linebacker position once and for all.
Yeah, but let's say the Buccaneers, who just lost Quan Alexander, decide, okay, we want to get Devin White. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna get Devin White. We have a strong front 4 already. We don't really need Sweat, So maybe White, you can argue, is the. Are you complaining if we walked out of there with Montez Sweat at number 6?
No,
I got a question.
Not at all.
There's guys like Clean Farrell from Clemson, who's also been rumored to be up there.
Do you think Greedy
for guys? But let's talk about it. I mean,
you think Greedy at 6 is too soon?
I think Greedy at 6 is too soon.
You think Greedy at 17 is too late?
I think Greedy at 17 is possible.
Yeah.
Possible.
I think it's possible as well.
I think it's possible. I don't. My heart says possible. My head says no. Because
you know who at 17, DeAndre Baker.
Cornerbacks are such a premium that I think Greedy is the best cornerback on the board. So I find it hard that he dips to 17. I can see him dipping out of the top 10, maybe getting to 11 or 12, but you would have to think that he doesn't drop to 17. If he does, you scoop him. But
here's the deal, James. Me and you talked about this before. There's really 4 top wide receivers, and it matters when that run starts.
Yeah.
Whoever takes that first wide receiver, that run on those 4.
I think you're in a good position at 17 to scoop up the position that drops to you. Because you
take best available at 17 regardless.
Especially
in our position.
I think that we have enough problems on this roster that you can really argue that no matter who they take where, they can use.
Yeah.
So you take the right tackle, honestly.
I don't think you push the right tackle.
If he's there, because there is some guys that
there's
drop.
2 or 3 guys, but what if they drop between 10 and say 15, and there's a run on the tackles, and you see a couple of tackles go off the board, but then you're sitting there and you're like, holy shit, this defensive back dropped or this linebacker dropped. Maybe you walk away with 2 linebackers and you redo the whole fucking thing and you let Ogletree go early. So I did a mock
draft on FanSpeak, and I ended up with Devin White and Devin Bush.
I mean, hey, would you be? That's not a bad thing to walk out of the draft. So I think that if you can get Rosen with the 2nd, then this defense to me is atrocious. I think it's And while I'm not thrilled about saying that we can piece together the right tackle position with maybe the extra money that we've accumulated by bringing in a guy that's still available, or potentially drafting a guy, say, in round 3 or so, and hoping that guy pans out, I think it's probably it's probably a better option to bring in a veteran if you're going to go that route through the draft and have the draft pick compete with somebody who you trust in that spot. But I think the defense is so bad
that's what I want to talk about. Let's go
focus on the defense at 6 and 17.
Let's break down the defense and who needs to be upgraded. I mean, obviously all of them.
Everything
need to be upgraded, but
everything. What
we have in place right now, safety position right now is Anthony Bethea and Jabril Peppers. Decent.
Can use another safety.
You could use another safety because Bethea is 35 years old.
100%.
How about we set what are the goals of this? Are we trying to do what? Just improve?
Well, I got news for you. If it's Rosen and cut, I'm trying to win. Rosen just sacrificed his whole. Rosen just went through his rookie year. There should be a jump. And if with this offensive line as compared to the offensive line he played with, having Ingram, having Shepard, having Barkley, having Coleman, having a couple of other pieces that you may be able to add here or there. Like, if you get Rosen, like, fucking let's go. Like, to me, that's like, what are we waiting for? Like, why are you going to waste another year of the kid's rookie contract? He played 16 games. Like, you let Eli walk, you shake his hand, you say thanks for coming, and you go and you get Josh Rosen and you let him fucking play. You get him in there now and start learning the playbook.
The simple fact is we have 12 draft picks. Well, now, let's say we have 10 after the Rosen trade.
Well, here's the other thing is, do I fully expect them, Marco, to win the Super Bowl next year? No, I would not be going into the season going, we're going to win the Super Bowl. But you know what I would be going? We have hope. We have a quarterback. We have a young quarterback. Now we can build around this young quarterback. And man, if this kid takes a jump and we get to 8 wins with this team and have $120 fucking million going into next year, man, woo, are we going to be excited come 2020, not having to take a quarterback, having that situation rectified. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's where we want to be. That's what I've been trying to get to since last year.
With this draft, we can set the foundation. If Gettleman has a draft like he had last draft, it's on 90% of the picks.
Tim, but to me, you have no foundation if you don't have the quarterback. To me, the quarterback.
That's without saying. I'm not talking about that. I'm still going with the fact. In my mind, we have Rosen right now.
Like
maybe I'll sleep a little bit better tonight if I feel like we have Rosen already.
All right.
You know what? If we hit on these picks, we literally set the foundation. Especially if they let's say we just go all defense in the draft. Say screw it, we're gonna hit and miss, but we're hitting it all on defense. You got a bunch of young players, and come next year, who we're weak at, guess what? We'll go find the upgrade and we'll go pay the upgrade and bring them in.
Where we will have a lot of money.
And that'll be true. And let's see. We are going to draft a corner. Let's be honest. We have to draft a corner. So you got Jenkins, Beal, and a rookie corner right now as the top 3. In theory, could be a decent Madrigal.
Could still bring in a veteran who's available if we free up some money. I mean, if you let Eli go, you're looking at additional $17 million that's going to be on the cap. What is our cap number to jump to?
Well, here's the deal, James. The way the cap's set up right now, come next year, guess what? If we're going to have $100 million next year, that's pretty much into this year too. Because all we have to do is have a roster bonus and we can push it a year.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way around that, but what I'm saying is that like you can there's still guys out there that you could bring in to compete and that are still young enough where you're not really wasting money. And if it's the second or third wave of free agency, well, then guess what? They're not going to be very expensive guys as it is. So you're not going to have to tie up a lot of money, and you could still bring in some guys that can add to this roster in the rookie class that can round out a solid football team next year. Now, again, I don't think that they'd be in a position to compete for a Super Bowl, but I think that if you do that, if you accumulate 10 draft picks and you bring in some decent young talent from around the league that you think may have some upside, then you're able with your young quarterback and your to assess the situation and go, okay, who's coming along for this ride with me, and what pieces do I need to fill with the $120 million that I have now that's free because I have the rookie quarterback under contract. And now you're looking at from, oh my God, when are we going to win again ever, to let's fucking go. Let's go.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm excited in the fact that, one, we were talking about Rosen last year. Me and you gushed about him, other than injury history. Now,
hold on.
You have Rosen and we have Barkley.
You want to see me go? You want to see me go captain positive, man? Get me a quarterback. Get me a fucking quarterback. It's the only thing that I've been scared about, guys. This is the whole fucking reason I've been terrified, is because I saw this day coming where we're sitting here like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And it's the most serious, it's the most dire situation a football team can have. A quarterback, in my eyes, is the most important position in sports, never mind football. So, like, if you don't have that position shored up, or have a guy that you believe can grow into a guy that can lead your franchise, you're lost. I don't care what else you have. The quarterback is the guy. So if you can do that with a second-round pick, Jesus Christ, get it done, Getty.
There's a few comments in the chat. Hold on. I've heard the Giants have concern about Rosen's leadership /
stop it. No, you've heard wrong. There's no concern about
Hold on.
leadership.
Let me finish. Have you guys heard Have you guys heard differently? Later on in the guy from Arizona said
Larry Fitzgerald pumped him up. So I believe Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I don't believe any of that stuff. I think Rosen comes off wrong. He gets a bad rap. I think he's perfect for New York City. Here's the thing about Josh Rosen. I think he wants to be the quarterback of the New York Football Giants. Now, I saw a couple of weeks ago, and I threw it away with a grain of salt, because quite honestly, I think Arizona is fucking retarded if they trade us Josh Rosen. It would be a very Arizona thing to do. I think they are stupid. If they trade Josh Rosen with that guaranteed money paid on the contract that he's in to go get Kyler Murray for Kliff Kingsbury, God bless. Have fun with that, okay?
Yeah,
if the Giants can make suckers out of them, then you do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Do you know no one from Arizona's front office, owner, GM, or anyone was at Kyler Murray's workout today? Is that a work?
I think
coach, not a GM, not an owner.
That doesn't mean anything.
They probably have their mind made up on him.
They probably already had private workout with them anyway.
I really don't think that. I think they're probably trying to put out. If anything, they're just trying to confuse people. I don't see anything in that. I don't see anything in that.
A small Giants.
No, I've seen plenty of drafts where like they don't even know the guy was. Oh, I didn't even know that team was interested in me. Plenty of draft picks have said that. Oh, they didn't even come to anything of mine.
Yeah, but everybody knows that they're interested in him. I mean, that's not. Everybody knows that Kingsbury loves him, right? So, like, it's not a secret. I don't think that them being there would have been breaking news, and I don't think them not being there is anything more than them saying we don't need to see any more of him.
Didn't Kingsbury recruit him or try to recruit him? Anyway?
I don't know if he. I think he did. I think he might have tried to recruit him. I know that when he was playing against him, he said that he was like one of the best players that he ever tried to play against.
Wait, recruit him back?
Well, he tried to recruit him to his college. Recruit him to Texas A&M or whatever he was at.
No, he played. Murray.
Well, I know he played against them.
No,
I'm saying when.
He was the offensive coordinator before he went to Oklahoma under Murray. Do I not have that correct?
I have no clue. I'm not sure.
Was he offensive?
You're
probably right. I don't know.
I watched Kyler Murray's film a couple of times. I got to tell you, I see a college quarterback. I really do. I don't see an NFL quarterback.
The funny thing is, I'm old enough to remember when Kliff Kingsbury played at Texas A&M.
I like Kliff Kingsbury. I think he's a college coach, though. I don't think he's a pro coach.
He's just gun it.
Everyone is telling me I'm correct. Kyler Murray did play under him. He also tried to recruit him in high school.
There you go.
Before he went to Oklahoma. Yes.
So he knows plenty about him. He knows he's his guy. They don't need to see any more of them. The question is this, and I did not believe I don't until they trade him. Is Rosen available, man? I mean, if he's available,
think it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my God, right? Like I don't understand.
Why would you take a guy at 10 just to trade him next year?
Well, maybe they didn't know they were going to finish first, and then having the ability, they didn't know they were going to hire Kliff Kingsbury, who is in love with this guy, and this guy's a perfect fit for his offense. And if that's the case, and Kliff Kingsbury is the coach, and he's telling them, hey, Josh Rosen is a pocket quarterback. He cannot run the offense that I want to run. This offense was built for Kyler Murray. Then, now here's the other thing. If there's no other takers for Rosen, it puts Arizona in a very tough spot where the Giants may be able to walk away with it with a third-round pick.
Well, that's what you know. What I really think
if there's no other takers for Rosen,
I think they're trying to put the pressure on them. Arizona this weekend to get this deal done.
Well, now if here's the thing, man. If the franchise is being run the right way, then the news coming out tonight that leaked is them saying that they're willing to walk. To me, if they're running the franchise the right way, that's the bat signal coming into the sky saying, Eli, if this goes down, bye-bye. Because I don't see how you could bring Rosen in and then turn around and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to put him on the bench. I think
you can't put him on the bench. You can't put him on the bench. He already played a year.
Hey, James,
right?
Are you commenting on YouTube?
No, not at all.
Oh, it looks like there's another Captain Negative.
Is it Captain Negative fanboy?
Not fanboy. It says it's Captain Negative.
Well, how about that? I got a burner account. What am I saying?
You're saying that Gettleman is a smart GM.
Oh my God! I got somebody trying to throw a monkey wrench in there. Fake news. News. You're busted.
So let's say, James. Let's say this. Let's say the Rosen deal goes down, and you love whoever the hell he takes in the first round for 6 and 17. You know what? Let's say Gettleman even does this for you. Takes the guy you want at 6 and trades back from 17, gets more picks for you, and you love those picks. Are you a Gettleman guy then?
He would be growing on me. Let's see how those picks turn out. Like, I don't think you judge a GM in 1 or 2 moves. Like, I like the Zietler move. I love the OBJ move. I want to strangle him for passing on Darnold. So I don't think that you can.
Well, he didn't make up for it with Rosen?
He doesn't have him yet.
Well, I'm just saying, if he did.
Okay, so if he did, then let me see now all of a sudden. See, this is how I think. I'd be thrilled and I'm ready to fucking go and I'd be fired up. Okay, but I'm not ready I'm not ready to declare Gettleman a genius and be completely on the Gettleman bus. 1, because there's no 5th trophy in the case yet, and 2, I need to see if Darnold ends up being better than Rosen.
I just want to put out there.
That's a debate for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. Here's the thing, though. It goes from all of a sudden it goes from the Darnold. It would be great. It would go from Darnold to Barkley, us arguing about, to Darnold and Rosen.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, it would go from Rosen and Darnold in L.A. going against each other in college to facing off in New York.
In New York, yeah.
Back page in New York. And don't think that Rosen doesn't want that. Don't think that Rosen isn't thinking, oh, my Lord. I get to.
And I'll tell you right now, Rosen would give
Rosen would fucking love it.
Rosen would give great comments.
Yeah.
Unlike Eli, he would say stuff.
Give me Josh. Give me Josh and that swagger. Give me a little swagger in the blue jersey. I need a little swagger.
This is what you need to do from turning Captain Negative into positive.
Get me a quarterback, Dave.
Just give him Rosen.
David.
Get him Rosen. We get him to neutral.
All right,
David. You hit it home run with some picks. You got positive.
Here's
positive.
Here's a question that I don't know. if the Browns renegotiate Odell's contract, do we have to pay $16 million?
No, we have nothing to do with it.
I think we're done with that now. If they negotiate that contract, much like what the Raiders did, that's on the Raiders. Then that would be on the Browns too.
Yeah, there's adding it just to make him the highest paid wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an additional. I think sometimes if you trade a guy during the season, you carry over a little dead cap, right? So I think that there's some dead cap for Damian Harrison and Vernon and some other guys, right? I don't.
That's why we got rid of him during the season.
Well, but I don't know. Not Vernon. Vernon happened now when we got that dead money. But if we since we traded Beckham now, is all of the dead money hit this? Regardless, we're going to have 120.
Yeah, it's all on this. It's all on this season.
But it's all on this year, right? So at the end of this year, it's a wash, and there's no dead money carried over to 2020. Yep. Okay. All
right. I want to say
technically by getting rid of Odell, we saved $5 million.
Yeah, we saved $5 million on the cap
this year.
I wanted to say, Mohamed Dalio, thank you for subscribing. And if anyone else is new here, please jump on that.
Yeah, subscribe.
Jump on that sub button.
And do not believe anything that Captain Negative on there says. That is not me. Fake news. You busted.
And pretty soon he's going to be Captain Positive.
Oh, get me a quarterback, David.
You know what? After dealing with Captain Negative for the past 2 years.
Well, when did this?
You know what? It'd be refreshing to be dealing with.
Well, how did this? Let's remember how this whole Captain Negative thing started, right? I mean, you just brought up Brandon Marshall a little bit ago. I remember running around my house, screaming like a maniac when we were on the air, and we got Brandon Marshall. And I was all in on that team that lost in Green Bay, even after the boat trip. I was all in on the following season, saying, "Hey, we got the possession receiver to go alongside Beckham. We got this defense coming back. Like let's go." And then where I went south is when they benched Eli and everybody went apeshit, and Mara stepped in and threw everybody under the bus. Because if you read the writing on the wall, which Giant fans don't fucking like to do ever, but if you read the writing on the wall from the quick feet comment, McAdoo was telling you that there was a problem at the quarterback position in his eyes. And then you go into the draft where they wanted to make a move for possibly getting Mahomes, and Mara turned him the fuck down. And now you get to the middle of a season where it did not go the way that you anticipated it was going to go. You're sitting there at 1-11, decimated by injuries. You have Davis Webb, who you took with a third-round pick on the roster. And after you make the right decision, God love Eli for everything he's done, it was still the right decision to say, okay, let's move on. Okay, whether it's Geno Smith or little sister Mary from the poor, okay, whoever it is, it was the right decision. And then the on that and not accept position the following year, that's where this whole fucking thing started. It's very positive before that because I was worried about the quarterback position. Get me a quarterback, David.
You know what? Davis Webb is the number 2 for the Jets right now.
What do you wait till Darnold gets hurt and Davis Webb comes in and leads that team to like an 11-5.
Oh, if he starts tearing it up, oh god!
Can you imagine if it ends up Darnold gets a career-ending injury and Davis Webb ends up being the fucking Jets franchise quarterback, lighting it up, the web slinger.
Mike, you will see sad faces wearing in blue jerseys if that happens.
Oh. Yeah,
and we dropped him for Alex Tanney. Oh, so sad.
Well, at least we got him for 2 years under contract.
Mara is turning into the Dolan of New York football. We were just talking about that.
Yeah. Yes, we were.
That was horrible. When you he looked down to read the names of the players he had.
Oh my god!
We had. I wish they would have pulled the Ron Burgundy and just put the name there. We have Dick Hertz on the team, and we have
Oh.
All right. Walter, thank you for subscribing, Walter. Shout out.
Shout it out, Walter.
His name looks very difficult to pronounce. The last name ends in a ski. But shout out to Walter.
Hey, Walter Ski.
Let's see. We got a... You guys think Luletta... We should give Luletta one chance. Yeah,
No.
of course.
They gave one chance and he looked like shit.
He ran over a cop on the way to practice.
Hey, sometimes you got to get to practice.
That's the only chance you get. Next.
You know what, guys? I just want to put it out there right now. If you want to go back in the archives, when my old Peppers tape, when I was doing it for a draft profile for Jabril Peppers, who I thought Giants would take. Now he's on the team. I'm kind of pumped up for Peppers. I think he's gonna make plays.
Should be.
I think he's gonna be a Giants favorite.
Well, the Giants seem to mention him a lot in their Twitter and Instagram feeds.
Yo, they really did not mention his name once.
Nope.
How
did you acquire such players that you are pumping up? D Sniper 1, thank you for the sub, brother.
unbelievable to me, man. Absolutely unbelievable to me.
Does anyone know how they acquired Peppers? I think he's a good player. I haven't seen a lot of him. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been watching that many Browns games.
No, there's a lot of highlights out on Twitter right now. But the thing is, he's more athletic than Landon Collins, and he can cover.
Mm-hmm.
And he's only making $1 million.
Exactly.
And he's a few years younger too.
A few years younger. He's still got, I think, at least 3 years on his rookie contract left, or 2 years in the extension.
Yeah,
that's fine. And he's a New Jersey kid, which I think he wanted to play here anyway.
All right, we got another one. R. Freeman 12. Thank you for the sub, brother. Just keep them coming. I'll shout you out. You want a shout out? Keep them coming. You want to throw a super chat in there? We haven't had one of those in a while. You could do that as well.
It sucks that we can't take calls tonight.
Yeah, it does. But we are here. We are live. We are communicating with fellow Giants fans.
Yes, we are.
At least Peppers can cover a tight end.
Well, that's really the key, isn't it? I really think we should be watching these college kids, and whoever the best is at covering tight ends, we should go out and get them. Because we're literally the worst team I've ever seen covering tight ends.
From Andrew, I saw Peppers play in Michigan and in Ohio State. His game is nasty. He did every Ohio State player dirty. There we go. I think that's a
There you go. Let's get the wave going for Peppers.
I'm all in. Get me a quarterback.
Let me tell you, the Browns on paper.
Oh, they're disgusting. They're stacked right now.
They look good. Question marks go to the coaching.
And they're trying to. Do you see they're trying to trade for Eric Berry right now?
Yeah, I do see that.
They're absolutely all in.
But man,
I don't know what's going to happen in 2 years when all those contracts start raising and they got to pay people. But good luck.
That and this, it's like they're a box of firecrackers that are like very close to fire. It's either going to put on a good show or it's going to become combustible quickly.
Baker Mayfield goes down, that team's done.
Yeah, you could say that with any starting quarterback though.
I think that I think that they'll be explosive. It'll be interesting to see if things get tough, how the dynamic in that locker room goes. How many? So you have Chubb, you have
Kareem Hunt,
you have Chubb, you have Kareem Hunt, you have Landry, you have Beckham, you have Njoku, and you have Baker Mayfield, who really doesn't give a fuck about
and you got
much.
Brett Perriman as well.
Yeah, he's going to throw the ball to who's open. It'll be very interesting to see how that dynamic works. I'm very curious to see. Explosive. I think it'll be really fun to watch. But does it result? Can they win playoff games? Well, we're going to see.
I mean, let's be honest. You know, Landry and Odell are going to be in Baker's ear the whole time. Mm-hmm. He's going to be he's going to be eyeing those guys down. Njoku might be, he's like, I'm just happy I get a catch once in a while.
I think it's going to really fall on. They've done everything they can to get an enormous amount of talent around Baker Mayfield, and now it's going to fall on his shoulders to, one, manage it, and two, thrive in it.
And that's a lot of pressure for a second-year player to be like,
yeah, but I think he's got the makeup
it's really
for it.
Super Bowl or bust.
I think he's got the makeup for it, and I think Browns fans, for as much excitement as you have going into this season, I don't know that you should really pencil yourself in for a Super Bowl. I think that you go into this season with a lot of hope, with a lot of aspiration.
Try to get the division first.
Yeah, you're excited. You think you have the inside track to the division, and that's going to get you a home playoff game, and you go from there.
Look at the teams. Let's say other than the Patriots, who's Cleveland not stack up against?
Kansas City?
Yeah.
Kansas City's defense is horrible. Cleveland's got a good defense.
The Browns' defense wasn't that great, and Kansas City's making some upgrades to their defense, and they have Mahomes.
Well, not if they traded Barry.
They already released him.
Did they release Barry?
Yeah.
Yeah, Barry's gone.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the release. So I thought they were trying to trade.
No, it was pretty recent. Like with
it was a couple of hours ago.
And they just got rid of D Ford, and they got rid of Houston. They got to replace all those guys.
Yeah, but they're going young on defense. Yeah, they're getting rid of a couple of high-priced guys, and they're going to go young on defense. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. They're going to see, but they're going to. You're looking at Mahomes versus Baker. Like, who has the ball last? Like, I don't think it's a guarantee that one wins or one doesn't. I think it'll be fun to watch for the next 10 years. The AFC. Think about the AFC right now. They have all five. Well, Rosen. They don't have Rosen. They have 4 of the 5 quarterbacks from last year.
Yeah. And
then you have Mahomes on top of that. So you have Mahomes, Baker, Darnold, Allen, and Lamar Jackson.
Actually, and Deshaun Watson.
Wow. The AFC's loaded with young quarterback. And Luck. We didn't even mention Luck. Luck's not old.
And Josh Allen.
Yep, I said Josh. Josh.
You're right. You did.
But yeah, the AFC is loaded with young quarterbacks. It's going to be fun to watch the next couple of years.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm glad the Giants are spending like they are. I'm watching the Bills spend $30 million on Cole Beasley.
I think the Bills, I love what the Bills did. Bills addressed their offensive line. I see what they're doing with Gore. He's cheap, and they're going with 2 veteran running backs. So they're going to split Gore, and they're going to split McCoy, knowing he has time. Probably have a couple of other young.
They're the 3 oldest running backs in the league.
Yeah, but they're running backs. So all you need is, obviously they're going to go. They built their offensive line. Morse is a stud.
Can they get more than 17 yards?
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. They're going to go with a ground first game. They got possession receivers to go with Zay Jones, and they believe in their young quarterback. They got a guy who their coach is defensive minded. They got a solid little defense over there. So I don't think that they're done. I don't think they're a set product. But I think with getting Morse and a couple of those receivers, and I got news for you: the salaries on these guys, get used to it, because that's where it's going. I don't know what you expect these guys to make, but what you're seeing for these slot guys and what you're seeing, like, didn't Tyrell Williams today get $44 million?
You know what? I can see that one better than I see the Cole Beasley thing. I'm like, when I saw Cole Beasley contract, I'm like,
Devin Funchess is making $13 million.
Devin Funchess, you mean the unbelievable wide receiver that Dave Gettleman scouted out and drafted in Carolina?
I got news for you. The thing that was holding back Funchess was Cam Newton. Watch Funchess explode with luck.
Funchess knows how to use his body,
and he's smart for signing a 1-year deal, because if he can have a good year with luck and he ends up catching 8 touchdowns for 900,000 yards, he flirts with 1,000, he breaks 1,000, which isn't anything crazy to say that. I could see Devin Funchess in that offense having a flirting with an 1,100-yard season and 7 or 8 touchdowns in that offense. Fucking Ebron caught 13 this season, didn't he, for Christ's sakes?
And that's why I think Funchess could have a good season, because of Ebron.
Funchess could have a really good season. He can parlay that. And think about that. He parlays that in one good season coming out of Carolina into maybe a contract when it's skyrocketed. You never know.
So I'm holding a personal grudge because he did me wrong in fantasy. So there we go.
Yeah, the fantasy grudges they stay real.
Steve says the podcast sucks because we didn't answer his question on what was
about it? What?
Well, what's the question, Steve?
On who should we bring in as our number 1 wideout? Hurt your feelings? We didn't answer that.
I don't think you relax with the wideouts. Like,
there's your answer.
If you go look,
I think you would have our number 1.
Go look at the positional value when it comes to wins. Right, so wide receiver and running back are like maybe the 2 lowest, besides like punter and shit. Like, don't worry who's your wide receiver. If the quarterback is good, and your offensive line is good, and you have a solid defense, you're fine. The quarterback will make the wide receivers better. It's his job, okay? And when you don't have one wide receiver that's bitching, yelling, screaming for the ball, complaining all the time, throwing his hands up, making a scene, flirting with the kicking net, spearing players on the field, just acting like a complete douchebag, right? Then the quarterback can lead, and he can go ahead and just get the ball to whoever's open. So, and it's the NFL. Like, these guys can catch. Like, we've seen giant teams win with solid wide receivers and not superstar wide receivers. We've seen teams all over the league win with decent wide receivers and not superstar wide receivers. So, relax. It'll sort itself out. And if the team around us is good and the team is solid, then it won't matter who the wide receivers are.
And I'm going to be just watch pretty much like the last month of the season. Sterling Shepard can be the number 1. He's proven to me when Odell's not there, he steps it up.
Well, and that's a big year for him. Guess who's going into a contract year?
Exactly. It is a contract year. Sterling Shepard's going to, in theory, should have a great year.
Now, let me ask you this, okay? Because this would be, if you're not going to trade him, to me, with Odell gone now, to me, I would have a conversation right now with him about locking him up before this season.
Yeah,
because I think you get better. I think you get better bang. I think right now you get him for somewhere around that Cole Beasley Funchess mark. You may be able to get him for 10, 11 million now and lock him up. Whereas next year, if he's a number 1 wide receiver this year and he has a good year, think about how his price skyrockets going into next year. So
and they can be on him. They can be on him betting on himself.
And if you could offer him financial security now and say, here's 5 years at $55 million with 18 million guaranteed or whatever the number would be, and you throw it at him and you say, okay, here you go, Odell's gone, I want you to be our guy. If you believe in him, then you think you can do that. Then you offer him that deal, knowing that still that's a very cost-effective deal for you.
I security. You know what?
And you don't let him get the free agency.
James. I totally agree with you.
Lock him up now. That's what they should have done with Collins last year. You see where these prices are going in free agency. Get ahead of the fucking game. Get this guy, give him financial security at a little bit under market value now before he gets to free agency. And then it turns out he's playing on a fucking. Then he's outperforming the value of his contract 2 years from now.
Yep.
Now Shepard could very easily turn around and say, "Fuck you! I think I'm gonna have a great year, and I don't want this deal now, and I'm gonna make you have to pay me at the end of next year." And that's on him, and that's on him, and that's his decision. And if that's the case, then you're like, okay, but at least the Giants, but at least you know you did your due diligence and tried to lock him up because it's the right, smart move to do.
You know, it's the same thing that happened when Joe Flacco went for his contract. He said no to an extension. They went to the Super Bowl. He won it, and then he got the contract he got.
Well, I'm not saying Sterling Shepard is anywhere close to Le'Veon Bell, but look what that moron did. Like, that moron had $5 million, 5 years, 70+ million sitting on the table from the Steelers, sat out a year, and then ended up getting the deal he got from the Jets, which wasn't close to what he would have got from the Steelers if he just re-signed. So, like, I don't. If some of those, like, you have to bet on yourself. You know it's a violent game.
Yeah,
you know that you can get hurt at any time. It's very hard to look at that and say, you know what, $10, $11 million a year for the next 4 or 5 years, 18 to 20 million guaranteed in my pocket right now. Or I got to go through another violent season where I'm going to be the number one receiver, where I'm going to be the bullseye guy. They're going to target.
I understand. I understand where he's thinking, but you know what? I always like the players that are on contract years, because you know what? That game where I'm iffy. Oh, I don't know if I want to play today. Oh, shit, I'm going up for a contract. I'm definitely playing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there.
I'll chill out.
But that's on him to make that decision. And it's hard to. I would put the pressure on him to make that decision by saying, here's $20 million guaranteed that we're going to give you. Here's a 5-year deal for $50 to $55 million. It's $10 million to it's $10, $11 million a season is what it works out to. I'm giving you financial security. I'm telling you that you're my guy. Let's go. And if he says, you know what, I'm going to gamble on myself, then you let him gamble on himself. And you have the conversation next, and then you have a decision to make. But if he says yes, and the kid blows up as your number one receiver, well, now think about it. Just seems to make sense to me.
I do know we have to bring in at least 1 or 2 receivers. Probably 1 through the draft, probably 1 through a free agency, or whatever. Because right now, I think Corey Coleman's our number 2.
The chat is getting pretty funny.
I think Corey Coleman's going to have a good season. I'm going to get blasted for saying.
Hey, you know what? He's another one that's a first-round talent. First-round talent. He just needs to show that he can play that.
I like Corey Coleman. I don't mind. Let's go, Corey Coleman.
You know who I really like. I really like.
Let's go.
I really like Cody Latimer.
I want to upgrade, but I'll go.
I like the way he plays.
I don't mind.
I like the way he plays.
I like those two. Give me Shepard and Coleman. That's right. I said it.
That's where we got to go. I think Cody Latimer is good. He's not on. He's currently free agent. There's no talk.
Is he a free agent?
Cody Latimer is a free agent. Yes.
I think you can use an upgrade. I think they can.
He's a great special teams player. But hey, if he comes back cheap, get him.
Oh, this is. Corey Coleman would become solid number 2 for us.
I hope so.
We'd have a short ass wide receiver core, but whatever.
Hey, I mean,
Patriots use it.
And we don't run the Patriots offense.
It was piecing everything together with half the websites down. It actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah, we got a nice little hour in.
Yeah.
Hour and a half in.
Yeah, not a bad. We answered your question, Steve. We answered your question.
Steve started.
Who's going to be our number 1 wide receiver? Sterling Shepard's going to be the number 1 wide receiver.
There you go. Do you want me to type it out?
Corey Latimer. He's going to blow up, Steve.
Shepard's already shown that he can be the guy if he's the only one there.
The answer is John Mara starts at wide receiver 1. That's pretty funny, Brian. My God. All right, everyone. Let's call it quits for today.
Man. Hey, you know what? I just want a bold prediction from each of you. What's going to happen in the next day or two?
I'll go with the obvious bold prediction because I'm just praying for it. I don't think it's going to happen. I'll go Giants trade and cut Eli Manning, freeing up $17 million and bringing an era to an end and ushering in a Rosen by any other name. It's just as sweet.
Go ahead, give me your bold prediction.
Bold prediction. I think we bring back Jonathan Stewart to solidify this locker room.
Yeah, we need a good tutor, especially if we're going to get rid of Eli. You definitely want to bring back Stewart.
All right, I got a little bold prediction. A fan favorite defensive player is not going to re-sign with the Giants.
Ooh.
Kerry
Who is that? Who you like?
Kerry Wynn. I already know the way he's talking. Kerry Wynn.
Kerry Wynn. Okay, I can see that now. No, I mean, yeah, I can see that now.
Okay. You know, it's fine. He's not a 3-4 guy anyway. And I just want to put one shout out. Good for Jonathan Hankins signing with the Raiders. I couldn't believe he was out of the league, for as long as he was. I was always a Hankins guy.
It wasn't that long. It was only like what did he get cut, like 4th game in last year?
Yes, I was something stupid, but I was still he was good enough to where I didn't understand why he wasn't getting picked up. Whatever it was when he did, but I loved it when Hankins was on our line.
Well, he is going to be in the Veda helmet now, all Vaded out. The black hole.
All right, there's our bold predictions, and
they are bold.
That's it. We will see you next week. Maybe we'll jump on at another time, but peace out, everyone.
Bleedbigblue. Always.
Later, gents.